the climate now is people talk about this or that. Like Black Sheep. You can get with this or you can get with that. Yeah. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Phil Collins
it's like this and like that.
Or Sting.
Like this and
I like them both.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one.
Dr.
Right?
Dre.
No. Did I say Dr. Dre?
Oh, no.
Did I say Phil Collins? Did I say Sting? Phil Collins or Sting?
Phil Collins or Sting?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I don't know, man. That's tough. Because I like some of Phil Collins.
Phil Collins went with Genesis, then he turned around by himself. Sting went with
But he's
Police,
got some of those drums, man.
Ooh, yeah. He's got a classic drum. Mike Tyson. This is my favorite part. You know? That shit, right? But Sting's got some deep shit, man. I'm going Sting.
Okay.
I asked you. Don't fucking pawn it off on me.
Oh, well, I don't know, man. I'm going to go Phil Collins just to be different.
Just to be, what do they call it? Devil's advocate?
Yeah.
And I never understood what that meant. Does that mean like you jerk the devil off?
Yeah,
you're his advocate?
No.
I never
just
understood.
To be the opposition of all
things. Just to be
things.
devil's advocate. Emails. Donnie says, "Hey Wood.
Hey.
Why don't we hear any progress on your quest to go to McCamey Manor? You said you're not afraid. It can't be any worse than you being in a room full of baby mamas all talking about the worst 45 seconds of sex they ever had in their life.
See? What do I have to be afraid of? Not a damn thing.
Like a bottle of cheap wine, here's your application. Hold on. Like a bottle of cheap wine, here's your application to get you started on another bad decision. All right, and the application says this. It says this. It includes this. Must be 21 and above, 18-year-old with parents, completed sports physical, and doctors letting you know you're physically fit. Pass a background check. I don't know why you need a background check, because a criminal, you should fucking just put prisoners in there for fun.
Yeah, if it's so scary and so bad, just send all of the inmates there. Why do I need a background check?
Be screened via Facebook, time, or on the phone. Proof of medical insurance. Sign a detailed 40-page waiver. I like how they put it 40-page waiver. Because now you really got to fucking read, right? Pass a portable drug test. Why do you... whatever. All right? And then they got a little bit for me. Keith, in all the years of listening to the podcast, I've learned you're pretty diverse. You wear a lot of hats. And most impressive that you wear them all at the same time, side by side. Nice head.
This is Donnie.
That's from Danny.
Danny. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we've heard from a Donnie before. Danny's... Is that a new emailer?
Yeah, I don't know of a Danny, but I don't fucking know.
Hey, you know what? Thank you for a long time listening. Thank you for dissing Keith's head.
Are you going to sign up for McCamey Manor?
Wait,
it
seems like a waste of time.
No, I'm with Danny. No, fuck you. I'm with Danny.
Okay, listen, I have to get there. If you want to donate funds for me to get my ass there, then you bet your ass I will do it. 100%.
You'll make it. Nobody's ever made it all the way through.
I'll make it through. That's stupid.
I bet you somebody said
listen,
that
it's not fear. I was looking at some things. Fear factor. It's fear factor.
Okay.
It's not a haunted house. It's fear factor, and that's stupid.
Once they strap you down and put it on the ceiling, the list of the amount of child support you're going to have to pay over the year of an 18-year-old child, that's going to fucking make you run for the door. All right, just so you know. Max says, for all you Provo State fans out there getting all excited about your 15-year-old looking Zach Wilson getting drafted.
Badass, by the way.
Don't go soaking up just yet. I hate to tell you something. Your boy is overrated, severely. And the Jets are still the Jets. Yeah. Remember Chad Pennington, Mark Sanchez, and Sam Darnold.
The only one I can disagree with him on is Mark Sanchez, because Mark Sanchez did a good job until they didn't put anyone with him.
Okay, you're wrong.
Nope.
Exactly. Zach lifts up a bunch of D117 schools during the 2020 fake season. Good luck, buddy. 3 years and you'll be back in Utah with your overly blonde family.
Get it out.
Your overly blonde family. P.S. Your mom is hot as balls. I wouldn't describe anybody hot as balls because I don't spend a lot of time looking at them.
No, but if you... I think it's a reference to, like, have you ever... You've been outside in Utah mid-July, beginning of August, and it's hot. Mm-hmm. What happens to your balls? They're twice as hot as the rest of your body. Okay.
That's not what happens to me. What happens to me is when I try and get cute and you try and shave your balls and then that stubble starts growing back and you're like, God damn.
Because then it's hot. It's like a fire.
Today's the day.
Yeah, it's like a fire.
I have an STD. Remember being 23 and shaving your balls? You're like, oh, fuck. I think my shit.
Yeah.
I got a disease. So I shave with clippers. That's too much information. I won't talk about that.
Let's keep going.
Jim says, my girlfriend left me for a nerd. My living girlfriend left me for a dude that LARPs. LARP is live action role play. Why do you know that?
Overplay podcast.
Why do you
keep going?
You scare me sometimes. You really do, man.
I have a subscription.
You're supposed to be my
GameStop. Dude. Yeah, I've told you. This is not news. This is not news.
Some medieval bullshit. A time when no one takes a bath and humans use lapdogs to get rid of fleas off themselves. She started this about 2 years ago, and on action days, she would actually wake up in character. Have you ever tried to get wet by a woman talking in a bad British accent? So I guess she wakes up and she's talking like fucking Queen Elizabeth.
Is
the
he
original
talking?
one.
Yeah, is he talking?
Queen
to
Mary.
Me? Is he talking to me?
You wake up in a bad British accent?
No, I'm just saying.
Have you ever?
Yeah. If my girl's like,
anyway,
hello,
lad.
I don't know what they say.
Waking up in a bad British accent. It's an antidote for a hard-on. Anyways, I saw it coming and really wasn't into her anymore. And all of the newer dork friends that she had accumulated. It's just the fact that I got kicked to the gutter. No, it's just the fact that I got kicked to the gutter for a fucking dork. A self-proclaimed dork at that. It really makes you question your coolness.
You ought to.
Not sad, just wanted to vent and give you fuck something to talk about. Well, here's what I'm going to talk about. So, back in the day, in that English shit where, bunch of white people, so you should be talking about this shit.
Yeah,
but
sure.
You don't like to think they didn't shave. How would you shave your fucking crotch back in the day? What did you do?
A straight blade.
So here they are, fucking
a straight blade.
A what?
A straight.
Are you really gonna put that around your balls back then?
Why wouldn't? I don't think
why
they
wouldn't
did.
You?
Can
I tell you why wouldn't you?
I don't think they did back then.
Because I got 11 inches hanging off the end of my hips.
Listen. Most of the people that are listening to this podcast have watched 70s porn. And 70s porn is bush. I believe...
That's the same thing.
I believe that up until like 1990, it was 70s bush. Okay? And then all of a sudden, they decided, oh, this is weird. And so they started cleaning it because, like, there's no... like, I'm not running around naked anymore. I don't need that bush to stop things to get in there unless you're into that shit. Okay. But I think it was like the 90s when they started shaving that off.
I hope her and her new LARP boyfriend get their pubic hairs connected.
And they have to rip them apart?
Yeah. I hope that happens because you did my man dirty. And my man did you a favor.
Yep.
You're fucking LARPing broad with your unshaved pit, right? And your fucking plot scum teeth. He did you a favor by running with you.
Yeah, your plot scum teeth.
Plot scum teeth.
Suck it.
And you and your new LARP boyfriend, who I'm sure has a big giant front porch. A giant front porch. And he had to work hard to get locked into your pubes. Shave your crotch is what I'm saying. Do what you like. Keep them wood. Way to go. Way to go deep on the latest podcast. I'm super excited for the upcoming Shay fishing episode. I'm a big fly fishing man, and I hope he is too. If he hucks bait, I'll listen. I suspect some of the folks who visit Dick's Last Resort are also emailing and listening to your podcast. It's the same reason you read Zach's emails. For love and self-flatulation. That, I was thinking of that word the other day. Great podcast. Bring on Shay. Love Jamathan. I was thinking about that word the other day because there's some people that get off by beating themselves. No, not beating off.
No.
You glazed over. You glazed over.
Just because I was envisioning
some people
punching myself in the face while getting off to it.
They like the cat of nine tails on their back, and that gets them off. I don't like pain.
Okay.
I don't like that.
I glossed over because there's... everybody's got stories, man. Let's just gloss over.
Everybody's got stories. Everybody got fetishes. Everybody got a fucking secret.
Everybody's got a fetish.
A secret.
Yep.
All right? And that's
There's skeletons in every closet. With the end of the emails brings us to our snaggles, which our guest is going to read, which is... wait, there's a story behind this.
You fucked up because we're supposed to go from lowest to highest. He's the highest.
Well, but we said snaggles, and we always do the drink, and then we do we do our sponsors. Okay, so the drink is what?
It's Angel's Envy. It's a whiskey, a Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey.
Okay. Who bought it? Who bought this Kentucky Straight whiskey?
That's actually the first bottle of alcohol I've ever bought in my life.
Boss, any alcohol you've ever bought in your life?
Never.
Home run, kid.
Good job. Thank you.
Hold
Very
on.
much
You're
so.
David Ortiz right now, okay? You're sitting there. You're from Dominican.
Good.
You're kicking ass.
Good.
This shit is delicious because I'm fucked up.
Because if you're watching this live, there's over half of it is already gone before we even started this. But
Mine.
Snaggles is brought to you by, first of all, we're gonna go with Native Roots Design Co.
All right. So what we talk about is inanimate objects. How'd I do?
Not very good, but
All right, you know what I meant.
he meant to say was inanimate objects. But continue.
How do you do so good when you drink so much?
I become a scholar when I drink.
My tongue is thick. So you're like John Travolta in Phenomenon, right? So the more damage you do to yourself, the better you get.
Yeah.
Inanimate objects. I'm gonna tell you. So if you look, put the wings up there. Where's the wings?
There's the wings
If
right
you
there on
want
the back of that bottle.
If you want that tattooed on the back of your, I don't know, bathroom door. Again, we always talk about garbage cans because we need to decipher. So the other day, my garbage can was full, right? And it's garbage day. I got a bunch of shit to put in the garbage. I run over my neighbor's garbage can. I put the shit in there. It's not illegal. It's not like bodies and shit. I'm not trying to frame him for a crime. Dateline, that would actually be a good idea.
That would have been. Yep.
They would do trash runs, but I ran over across the street. I put shit in his garbage can. I should decorate my garbage can because the window of my house fucks it up.
Yeah, it does. Because you live on a mountain.
And I would do that with Native Root Designs.
Yes. Actually, if you want to go really simple, there's these coasters we had etched by Native Roots Design Co. Go over to their Instagram. It's Native Roots Designs on Instagram. Yep.
That's
metal.
That's actually a good one. Do they do car seats and shit? Because I'd like to hear something like says his and hers. Because I don't want any. No,
okay, listen.
Because women can't drive, right?
Okay.
Everybody knows that, right?
Well, okay. I'm going to stop, Keith, before we get in serious trouble here. So if you have like a headrest
They should just
cover,
say,
if you have a listen, let me
bitch,
finish.
Sit over here and get. All right.
Let me finish. If you have a headrest that's like one of those leather wraps that goes over your car, take it to Native Roots Design, and they will laser etch into the leather whatever you want. If you want to say his and hers, if you wanted to say hers and my bitch, you could do that. It doesn't matter. Okay, go to Native Roots Designs. That's on Instagram. They'll link you to their Etsy. You can purchase something there. They'll hook you up, and it will be great work. I promise you. Next up, we have MVP Jersey Framing. Let's see how you can screw this up.
What do they do? Jersey.
Frame jerseys.
They do cloth.
Clothes.
So they do clothes. So they do panties.
Yeah,
so
they would.
They
would do
if
that.
One day you went and twerked for Magic Johnson the day before. So Magic.
I would twerk for Magic Johnson. Yeah, I would try.
Don't say that when you're sitting beside me. Man. So
I'm not saying I can. I would. I would try.
Magic Johnson contracted the HIV virus.
Yeah, he did.
I want to say November. No, I want to say November. I want to say it was 1993.
You don't know the date.
It was because he was supposed to play the Jazz.
No, you're saying you're telling the story about when it came out.
All I'm saying is whoever the girl is that gave Magic Johnson the HIV virus should frame that shit. She should frame it up.
I agree.
Smack it up, flip it, love it down. Anytime you ever, whoever gave Eazy-E the poison.
Leave my guy, man.
West Coast, motherfucker. Right?
Yeah, I know.
Whoever gave Eazy-E the poison should frame her shit. And
really. That's true.
You should go to MVPjerseyframing.com because all he does is clothes. He doesn't do other shit. He doesn't do bottle caps. No, motherfucker doesn't do condom wrappers. He doesn't do none of that shit.
No, he does not. And he does great work, guys. If
great
you want to go, if you want to see his stuff, guys, go over to MVPjerseyframing.com. And last but not least, you know what? We butcher this apparently week after week.
We just learned.
We
butchering.
Yeah,
this
we're gonna give. So last but not least, we're going to give it to Tiger Claw Tattoo, the original sponsor, and we're going to give it to him. We're going to turn it.
Wait. Let's say what we say. Okay. What we say. Tiger Claw Tattoo. You go in there, meow meow, right? You walk in there, you get scratched up. He puts some fucking. He puts his nails in blue and gold and fucking black and fucking crimson, and he scratches you.
And you come out a tiger.
He scratches you. But he told us we're wrong.
Yeah, you go in a kitty, you come out a tiger.
So Tiger Claw Tattoo.
You know, I brought that up to you guys, but you butcher everybody's sponsors.
Yeah,
so
we do. We could have anybody sit in that seat.
I feel for those same sponsors, I guess. Anyway, you come down to the shop, Tiger Claw Tattoo.
Yes, sir.
We're on 834 East, 3300 South in Mill Creek, Utah.
So on our live, we have the phone number up, and tell me if I'm wrong. It's 801-410-4245.
So we got that right.
That's perfect.
So-
We did get that right.
Okay. Now that we have you in studio, can I clarify some logistical things
course.
like the 10-day rule?
Yeah.
Are you still on that?
So we're kind of backing off of that now. Most everybody in the shop's vaccinated. So I think what we're going to end up doing is doing more of a, I don't know, by appointment basis.
Okay.
So if somebody's like, hey, I've been out of the state, but I got vaccinated, whatever, we'll make adjustments through that.
Okay.
And hopefully here in the next, couple of weeks, we'll probably back that off even more, lighten up on the mask thing. Because I think the mandate for the masks is going away here soon, but I think we're going to continue that for a little bit. Mainly we don't want to be the hub of contracting or giving,
Sure. So
Do you
do you require your clients, and when they come in and they get tattooed, they have to wear a mask? Is
Yeah,
that right?
everyone's wearing a mask. Yeah, we actually don't even allow people to take their mask off to drink. We ask them to step outside. So,
Oh.
That's hardcore.
well, people are usually they're pretty good about it.
If I'm going in there and I'm going to put some art on my body, I'm going to do what you asked.
Of
Like
course.
if you want me in the entire time to jump on one leg, I'm going to pick my right because my left is messed up at this moment. I'm going to probably take an absence at some point during this podcast here in the few months. Anyway, it doesn't matter. If you ask me to jump on one leg, I'm probably going to do it. So if they ask me to take a drink outside, I'm going to probably do that.
Have you guys ever run a train at your shop?
like tattoo train.
Yeah, like
Okay.
when you start on the hair, and then
Clarify.
somebody else comes over and does the face, and then somebody else comes over and does the eyes, and somebody else does the neck.
Yeah, there was a party, shop party for.
It's called a train party. Is what it's called.
My buddy was actually an opening party for his shop just down the way, and so what we did was everybody got in line as tattooers, and we tattooed one person. So somebody would tattoo for 3 minutes and then just leave it wherever it's at. Next person jumps
Ooh,
in.
that's
3
really good.
minutes.
I would
It
like
was-
to be
it
a
was pretty
part of
cool.
that
It was pretty
train.
cool.
Whether he got off or not, you didn't have to do the fucking ejaculation. You just
Give him a
whatever.
flick.
Could he get back in line?
Of course.
Oh,
yeah,
'cause
of
I-
course.
got a
I
hard
hate to
dick.
say that I would be part of any train, but I would definitely.
Oh, the tattoos turned out great.
Yeah,
you know?
I would
love
I don't
to
know
be a
about his
part of that
orgasm,
train.
but the tattoo.
They were
turned out
all
great.
your tattoo artists.
They were from all different shops in Salt Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience to see.
Okay, also, since we have you here now,
Yeah.
finally, we can clear up this. Who is at your shop? Who can they go see? Because we bring you up because you've been here, of course. You're the mastermind behind
You're
it.
our number one supporter.
That's
what
right.
He's saying, and we're
So-
glad to have you back.
Thank you.
But who else is in there? Because they're all phenomenal tattoo artists, but we can never get that right.
Yeah, that's fair.
So who do you have?
So there's me and then my business partner, Ryan Johnson, and he's been tattooing for about 17, 18 years. And then we have Craig Seacrest. He's been tattooing about 10. Austin Huffman, who's been tattooing about 12. And then Austin Murfitt, he's pretty new, but one of the best traditional tattooists you'll ever see.
Okay, that's too many Austins already.
I
but
know.
keep
We
going.
get it all the mix up.
Okay.
It's Daddy A Train and A Murph,
right.
give him that. But then we also have Charity Critchfield, and she's been tattooing about 8 years, I want to say.
Uh-huh.
So
Can I ask you a question about
Yeah.
Charity? Because I'm a child of the 80s. Is Charity, like, hot?
Child.
yeah, Charity's a cute looking girl.
He's
Yeah.
a child.
Yeah.
Your words, not
Period.
mine.
Yeah.
But you would think, I mean, if you got the girl, she's got to have that little thing where they walk in and they're like, I want a tattoo of a, I don't know, a lidocaine.
I don't know. I don't know what a lidocaine is.
No, what's the fucking thing? What do they call werewolves? There's something with lidols.
I don't know.
And anyhow, I want a tattoo of a werewolf. And they look around and like, I want the girl to do it.
Yeah.
Because, look, here's the thing. No, here's the thing.
Times are changing, Keith.
I know, but times aren't changing that much. If I want a tattoo down by my bladder,
Yeah.
which is right above my dick,
Yeah.
you know where bladder is,
Yeah.
right? It's
I
above
have.
your dick.
Yeah.
So, like, remember when you got to pee and you're like, oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
That's your bladder. Below your belly, above your dick.
Where?
You don't have I'd want a girl to do that.
Well, I mean, that's fair, but you also got to respect her wishes, and if she's not comfortable with you getting tattooed in those
I'm not
areas.
gonna pee on her. I wouldn't pee on her.
No, but there's a lot more. There's a lot that.
Yeah, there's
lot
more to
more
it
that
than
goes
that.
into that.
Yeah,
so
there's more to it.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this real quick so that we can wrap this. Whatever this.
This is our sponsors.
Our spot. Yeah, but it's a little. So we have a couple more tattoo questions. We're gonna save those because we're gonna end the sponsors because that's where it's at, and we're gonna take a quick little break, and then we'll be right back because I have a few more quick tattoo questions, but that's not even why we're here.
What's the mean teacher?
We'll be right back.
come here. You're the tattoo guy. We all know who the fuck you are.
Hold on, Keith's talking. He's not plugged in.
Is that better?
Yeah, there we go.
I did feel like it was in a fucking hallway. I did. You come here. You're the tattoo guy. We all know about you. We know the type of fucking work you do. You're legendary.
I appreciate that.
You are. You're legendary. All right. But you're here because you're also a river runs through it. Right?
Just like Brad Pitt.
Hey, can I stop everybody? Can I pause everybody for just a moment? Boy. I want to run through my spiel. It's been a long time.
Sometimes you're the fun police.
No, this is fun. It's been a long time.
Okay.
We got a mask off today.
Oh.
Do your part. Let me do my part. Let's go through it. Let's pretend like we're doing the thing.
Oh, mask off. All right. What's the mask off?
Guys, for those of you that are new, and there's always someone whenever we have a mask off. A mask off is when we bring someone in, they're a little bit different. They do something different than we do. We peel that mask off. We get to know them. We get to know a little bit about them and what it is that they do.
Nice.
So without further ado, to our mask off guest, who are you and what is it that you do?
My name is Shay McAfee. I've been on here once before with you guys. I'm a tattooer and an amateur fly fisher.
Okay. Well, so for our mask off guests, we always have a couple of questions for them. We want to get to know them a little bit. This is like us warming up. So this is you out there, getting
taking
your wrist
cuts.
ready.
Yeah.
You're ready. Taking your cuts? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
all right.
Wouldn't it be... What do they do in hockey? They'll skate down the ice and hitting a few...
Yeah, warm up,
smacking
slap
a few
shots.
goals. Yeah, a few slap shots here. Here we go.
All right. What's the best type of fish to eat?
I like most saltwater
Cod.
fish. Yeah, cod's great.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the only one I'll...
Don't let him buffalo you. Don't let him buffalo you.
Any sushi grade fish, I'll eat it.
Sushi grade. You like sushi.
I love sushi.
That's that Japanese shit, right?
Yeah, I love sushi.
All right.
Delicious.
Next question is best cereal.
I'm a Fruit Loops guy. Yeah.
Toucan Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That big nose
nose.
motherfucker shows up and you're good.
But
It's hard
I'll
to
eat
hate
most
that.
cereals. Yeah. I'm not picky. Yeah, you can put anything in front of me, I'll eat it. I got in a lot of trouble.
Be careful with that.
Yeah.
You need to understand my listeners.
Trust me.
And you're a married man, so you should really be careful with that shit. All right?
I mean, I don't have this mustache for nothing. I gotta have a place to sit.
Flavor Saver Day color. Last movie you saw?
Oh, you know what? We just watched. I can't remember the name of it. It was
That good.
Mortal Kombat.
No, I'm bad with names. That's the problem. It's kind of like a spoof live interaction movie, but they're going from. He's chasing a girl.
Poughkeepsie tapes.
No,
Garbage.
it was on. Oh shit! It's on Netflix. God damn it! It's kind of like Jackass, where they do the little like pranks, but it's live and it's a movie. Kind of like Bad Grandpa, but
I know who you're talking about. It's the guy.
fucking name.
It's a specific guy, right?
Yeah, he's a comedian. God damn it! Sorry, I'm not gonna give you.
Great movie.
I know. Fuck. Sorry.
Great movie. All right, last question. What do you put on your corn on the cob?
Corn on the cob,
Yeah.
butter and salt, a little
That's
pepper.
it. Just
Yeah.
butter, salt.
Yeah. I mean, I like elotes too. So
Ooh,
What is that?
Yes.
that's like Mexican corn.
Yeah. So what you do is you cook it in sugar water, and then after it's done, you put some mayonnaise on it. You sprinkle some queso oaxaqueño.
Okay.
So it's cheese, and then you put a little picante on it, and
Shay said nothing about
But-
fucking mayonnaise or keto.
I mean, I would.
he
put
said
that on-
elote,
yeah,
but that's what an
elotes.
elote is. You put mayo, cheese, and like some powdered salsa on it. It's the
fuck.
best damn
So
thing you've
good.
ever had as far as corn.
But
Why are you sweating?
Just so you know,
Why are you sweating?
Because it's good.
I don't eat it off. I don't like to eat my corn off the cob. I usually cut it off with a knife.
It doesn't matter, even if you do that.
Oh,
and you
you're
have
one
an
of those
elote, yeah.
motherfuckers. Hey, Mom, take the crust off my peanut butter jelly
Gets up in my
sandwich.
teeth.
What the fuck you take it off? Either you bite it off, you don't know. So here's the riddle. Here's the riddle. So what do you get? And you take off the outside, eat the inside, throw away the outside. I fucked it up, but it's corn on the cob is the answer. You know what I mean? So because corn on the cob, you take the husk off.
Yeah, you
then
take
eat
off
the
the
good
outside,
shit,
you
and
eat
then
the
you throw away
inside,
that
you throw
little
the middle.
Yeah.
You know? Do you know that riddle? Fuck
I mean,
you
you
would.
could do that with an apple though too. You could peel
That's-
the apple,
that's true.
eat the apple.
Who the
throw
fuck peels
core
the
away.
apple? How
Some
many
people do.
weirdos do
Some
you know?
people do, not me.
Oh, I have this cool little thing, and I take the apple, and it goes on like a 3-pronged spike, and then I
Spin
crank it, and it spins, and it peels it, and it cuts it in a spiral. Oh, it's the best thing. And it takes the core out of the apple.
You know, doing that, lay it out, put
Makes
some
you gay.
tahini on it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say makes you gay.
Tahini on that.
When you said
Oh,
doing that, I was like,
You
oh,
can put
that makes
some
you gay.
cinnamon and sugar on it.
Peanut butter. Oh, fuck. Sign me
Yeah.
up.
All right,
I'm hungry.
Shay, you're the first person to come on here and have a mask off.
Okay.
To rice. How do you say it in Spanish?
Dose.
Dos.
Segunda vez, dos veces.
I thought
whatever.
when I said to rice, I thought that was Spanish. But here you are. You're talking about fly fishing.
Yes, sir.
All right. How do you get into that? What is that? What is that? Do you do that in a lake? Do you do it in a river? Do you do it in the fucking ocean?
Yeah, you can do all three.
You can do it in the ocean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fly fishing is just a means to an end. I mean, you could fish with the stick and it's just a way to catch fish. There's, I mean, your typical rod and reel that you would throw bait out, or you could throw, a fly rod. It's just, to me, I got a little bit of ADD, so I got to keep my hands moving. So fly fishing is it's more knowledge based. You got to know how to read the river, read the water. There's entomology involved with the bugs.
Entomology.
Yeah, and
What
then
the fuck does that mean?
study of bugs, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's
Damn.
very active. It's very, you got to. I played sports growing up, still do, and it's very sport-like in that regard. But yeah, I mean, you get into it because it's enjoyable. I guess that's the main.
How'd you get into it?
Well,
when did it become enjoyable for you?
Well, I started fishing with my grandfather when I was a kid. He got me into.
Grandpas do that shit.
Man, he was a great
Shitty.
guy. Great guy.
Daddies are shitty. Grandpas are the best. Seriously. There's so many stories where, like, my grandpa got you this. You look at your dad like, didn't grandpa teach you this? He's like, yeah, fuck you. Go clean the kitchen.
Yeah,
right?
but what I found is that like your dad then becomes the grandpa, and so then they do that with
For
your
your kids.
kids. And you're like, listen, quit being a grandpa and be a dad.
And what do you look at when they do that to your kids? Like, this isn't the same motherfucker I was raised with. Because he hated me.
Soft, yeah,
Right,
soft.
right,
My
yeah.
dad whooped my ass, but watching him with the grandkids, I'm like, what the fuck?
He's
Who is
perfect
this
now.
man? Yeah. No.
So he got you into fly fishing.
So no, he got me into spin fishing.
What is spin fishing?
Like a regular rod and reel, like you would think. You would throw it out. It's
Casting.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Your typical fishing style. But he wouldn't let me use bait. He was all about lures. So he gave me my own set of lures.
Excuse me. Explain to me the difference between bait and lures.
So bait would be like fish guts, chicken, worms,
Hot girl with a big ass.
something that tastes
Yeah,
good to the
that's
fish.
bait.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Gel bait.
Never trust it. Yeah. Never trust a big butt and a smile.
Oh, whew.
Yeah.
But lures are to impersonate whatever that bait would be, and that's how you would lure that fish.
Okay.
So like when you go troll fishing, and you're off the back of the boat and you're cruising along, you're gonna throw off something that looks like maybe a little fish back there that's
Like a
Going
minnow
a bit,
or
yeah.
something like that.
So
And
you're
that's what we're
mimicking.
Pretty much,
Okay.
yeah. And that's the one thing that's great about fly fishing is you're mimicking the bugs that they eat on.
Okay.
So, not always. I mean, fish generally are eating most of the time. They don't really like stop feeding unless they're spooked. So, you could land something in front of them. They're usually going to try to test it out because they have to swim, burn calories.
So they like come up and when you say test it out, you mean like come up and bump
Yeah,
it and see if it's
exactly.
authentic and then come up and eat it?
Yeah.
So they don't trust it right off top.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I mean, I've seen people catch. You could throw, string on a hook and throw it out there, and they think it's a worm. You know what I mean? So there's definitely fish are smart, but they're not that smart.
Okay. All right. And you got it too because of your grandfather.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
There's an art form with that, the way you cast it. When you throw that fish lure, what do you, no.
They are technically lures, but they're flies. Yeah, you throw
So when
flies.
you throw that fly out there, how long do you leave it there?
It depends on the drift. It depends on where you're fishing. So if you're fishing in a river, you're usually fishing in the seams or pockets or holes, and that
All of that makes no
I
sense.
know you're
to
gonna
me.
get a lot of that today, Keith.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember from the projects, man.
It depends on what the bugs are doing. So if you're there when there's a hatch, which is when the bugs come out of the water and start hatching, they are going to dictate what flies you throw, basically. So if it's mid-morning, you're going to get mayflies coming off. They might be eating the bugs that are emerging out of the water, or they might be the ones that are landing on top of the water. But you have to be able to visually see what they're eating to be successful. So, like you were telling me, your boy goes out and fishes and spends 10 hours, but he doesn't catch anything. He needs to study. That's the thing that I love about it, is it's a learning. There's more learning than just throwing something out there and hoping they eat it. You're going to have success if you know the entomology of what is going on.
So when you go out there to begin with, you go out and you'll watch what bugs are landing, and then I'm assuming you have like a tackle box full of different flies, not minnows. Flies,
I mean, there are some
mayflies.
There's some that imitate minnows too. They're called streamers though, in the fly fishing world. But
minnows are fish, right?
Yeah, there's baby like fry.
All right.
Yeah.
So I had a friend one time. Why do you laugh? Because you know what you know.
I know where it's headed.
It's headed someplace bad. I had a friend one time.
I apologize to anyone that was ever Keith's friend.
Do not. We went out. He got up one time at like 4 a.m. and he was walking. They were going to do something else, and he saw all these fish. Like there was a river here, or a pond, and off to the side there was this little. Where the water comes over here,
Yeah,
and
like
trying to make
tail
a
out.
Who?
It's kind of like a diversion or a tail out.
But it's not. It's not flowing, right?
Like
it's
a pond.
And so the fish were there, and he walked up on it. He's like, "Oh fuck, all these fish!" And when he got there, all the fish left. So the next day he's like, "Yo, all these motherfucking fishes are over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go catch them." And what he did is he got everybody up at like 4 a.m. Okay, I'm sure this is legal. He got everybody up at 4 a.m.
He threw a TNT bomb in.
We had fucking lawn chairs, and we blocked the fish's fucking path.
Right.
And he took another lawn chair, and he just raked all these fucking fish out the fucking
I'm
lake
pretty sure
because they were
that's
all over there. That's illegal.
That's
right?
illegal. Yeah,
that's
you need-
illegal.
You need a license, and you need to catch them ethically. I
Didn't have a
believe, so.
didn't have a license, and in my head, there's no ethics.
You could end
behind
up
that.
in jail for that one.
Oh, that was 30 years ago.
Oh, it's past.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The statute of limitations ran out on that shit. So my point being, for you, fly fishing, there's things you have to do. So you can't go. Isn't it like lures you can't use or attractions you can't use?
It's kind of like
If you take a fucking lure and put it in female pussy juice, right? Like,
I mean, you can do that.
That's bad?
That's fine.
That's great.
The problem is with fly fishing, there's like a side to it where it's almost like snobby. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there's purists that are like, well, if you're not using this fly that was tied with feathers and string and natural materials, then you're not a purist and you shouldn't be fly fishing. You shouldn't be catching those fish.
Okay.
But there's other guys that are throwing yarn on a string that looks like yarn on a hook that looks like a excuse me. Looks like a worm, and they're catching stuff. And people are like, that's not fly fishing. You're not doing it right.
Okay.
And so I don't know. It's all bullshit. I think if you're using a fly rod or you're using a conventional rod or whatever, you're trying to catch fish.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the end goal. Early on, and when I was fly fishing, I definitely got kind of sucked into that, where I only have to use these flies and that. But then, as I fished more, I evolved into like, instead of just catching trout, I started catching other fish. Well, other fish will eat pretty much garbage. So I start fishing for carp, and you start throwing flies that don't look like anything. I mean, I have a shit ton of carp flies here if you want to see them, but
Carp?
Carp will eat.
You can
Are they
reach in
easy
and,
to catch?
like if you go to
carp
Lake
are
Powell,
really, really hard to catch on a
Hard
fly
to
rod.
catch.
Yeah.
unless you go
They're
to
spooky.
Oh, I was gonna say if you go to Lake Powell, you can reach in and grab a carp.
Well, that's
right
true.
out.
That's true. But to get a carp to take a fly, there's more to it than you have to cast past them. You almost have to pull the fly rod or the fly line in front of them, almost land it under their face, because their eyesight really isn't that great.
Okay.
They're bottom feeders, and so they're rooting around in the mud. But I'm telling you what, you hook into a carp, even something that's 20 inches or more. I mean, they're going to take you for a ride.
Let's talk about that. You talk about the casting, the rhythm to that shit. So here you are, you're in a fucking stream, and now you're casting. Here you are in a lake, you're casting. Here you are over here with a bunch of carp, you're casting. There's different rhythms for that. It's kind of, you talked earlier off air about like a jump shot.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
If you're shooting a 3, that's a different force than if you're shooting a turnaround jumper.
throw.
Right,
And
right.
Right? So How do you get that motion? Where do you learn that?
Lots
shit?
of practicing. I mean, when I first started fly fishing, I would go out to the park and I would set up little like rings on the floor, and I would put a piece of yarn at the end of my tippet, and I would just try to land that in those areas. Basically, I could give you a conventional rod. You can throw that weighted out to wherever. A 5-year-old can do it, but a 5-year-old usually isn't going to pick up a fly rod and just start casting that. Like if I took you guys out there, you would have a hell of a time trying to fly fish.
I'd be pissed.
You would. And I was too when I started. There was definitely that learning curve of like, I need to know how the mechanics work. Once you pick that up though, it's a rhythm thing, it's definitely a rhythm thing.
So there's no reel with that.
There is a reel, but you don't use it like that. Most of the time when you hook into a fish, you usually are trying to maintain your tension by hand stripping that line in. You can get them onto the reel, but usually the reel is intended for holding your fly line and for basically fighting the fish on a drag setup. But it's not used to reel the fish in like you would think like deep sea fishing or conventional rod and reel fishing. The setup's different. While we're on reels, I'll explain it because when you're fishing with a conventional setup, it's like a monofilament line, what you would think of as, sorry, I'll show you this tippet here. That
I can't see shit.
No,
so
no.
You tell me the fish can see the line?
They can't see that because it's so small. I mean, that's rated.
But no,
6X.
But because it's so small, like a thicker line of fish can see that.
Yeah, they can see that. But different setups, whether it's mono or fluorocarbon, it's the light doesn't reflect through.
Okay.
But back to the fly line. The fly line is actually the weighted portion that sends the cast out. Normally when you're casting conventional stuff, it's weights that pull it out. This has a weighted section in the fly line that actually sends the flies out there. So the setup is different. It's definitely different. This is more of like a, I don't really...
Okay, somewhere in there for me, I don't know about you, Wood, but you started speaking Yiddish.
I know.
Start over again with that.
No. Surprisingly, we have a pretty good following that are really interested and into this stuff. Like,
Yeah, but
like,
none of them speak Yiddish.
Yeah, no, they do apparently.
I would like him to explain. So explain that again for me.
So the fly line is actually so if you look at the reel in a fly rod,
I'm looking.
this is the housing, almost like
Hold that up just a little bit.
Okay.
This is your camera here, right here.
So this is the housing, almost
Okay.
like if you looked at it as a car. This is just what holds all the parts inside. This part here is the fly line, and that's actually the motor that sends your line through the guides when you cast.
Okay.
So this can be floating. It'll float on top of the water, or it can be sinking, or it can be intermediate. It can be different depth. So per second, it can, but it's all depending on what style of fly fishing you're doing.
Are you going to use that for, is that in a lake or is that in a river?
Well, this fly line here would be, this is a floating line, so I would use it on a river, throwing dry flies, or you could do it nymphing. You could use it on a lake.
Nymphing?
Yeah, not
Yeah.
nymphoing.
Yeah,
Nymphing.
nymphing. Sorry, nymphing is subsurface flies. So under the water, dry flies would be above the water.
Okay.
So
Right.
I once had a buddy of mine teach me how to fly fish, and then we went out and we did it, and I caught a fish.
Did your anus hurt after?
It did, as a matter of fact. And so, but we were in a cul-de-sac, and he's like, "We're gonna practice here," and he taught me how, and we did it, and he put a paper plate in the middle of the cul-de-sac, and we threw that line out back and forth until I could land that stupid little fly on the paper plate without the line tracking behind it.
Yeah.
Like
'Cause
it
if you
has to
don't have the
land
rhythm-
first, right?
Yeah, if you don't have the rhythm, if it doesn't come back and unfurl correctly, it'll end up bunching up in front of you, and then you got a tangled mess. So
Let's not forget about the trees behind you.
That's true,
Because
too.
I learned that hard lesson in a hurry.
I broke quite a few rods doing that.
You throw that bitch behind you because you're letting out a lot of line, right?
Yeah, usually. Well, the problem is a lot of people think they picture Brad Pitt out there in the river throwing these 70-foot casts.
I always picture
It's
Brad
not
Pitt.
real.
I do.
If you're casting over 25 feet, you're out of your zone. You should be only throwing 10 to 15, maybe 20 feet in casts.
Okay.
Because you're passing over fish in the water that are there closer to you. You should fish those fish first and move up the water, A lot of people think that they have to be this like phenomenal caster. And there's guys that can do that. They can send 100 plus, feet casts, but it's not needed to catch fish. Most of the time, if I take somebody out to go fish, I usually will be throwing nymphs, something that they can throw out there on almost like a reach cast or like a roll cast, and it'll just go out in the water and swing, almost like the flies are called spiders, and they just basically imitate an emerging insect. But you can swing those in the seams, and fish will just chase that, and you don't have to do anything. I mean, you could really put a young kid on there. They just throw it out in there, let the water do what it does. It swings in the water, and then fish hook on.
Can you do it from the shore, or do you have to be in the water?
The problem, that's another thing. A lot of people think they have to jump in the water. They have to get in there. There's fish everywhere in that water, depending on where you're at. But most of the time, they'll hug those banks. So if you just jump into the water and start blowing through all these holes, fish are going to scoot and they're going to move, and they're going to alert fish up or down river. It's better to be on the bank, see what's going on, and then approach it from there.
What type of fish are you? Is it hunting or fishing for it? It's hunting, basically, right?
You're fishing for it.
All right. So what type of fish are they? Is this bass? Is this trout? Is this Gumby?
I fish.
Is Gumby a fish?
Yes, it is.
So.
No, it's a Swedish.
Oh, okay.
Swedish.
I usually fish for trout. Trout are usually, that's like the atypical fly fishing would be for trout. But I fly fish for everything. I think in 2019, I made it a goal to catch at least 10 new species on a fly rod. And I think I put out 12 that year. I mean, we were catching mud and channel cats down to different types of bass, to walleye, you can catch anything on a fly rod. It's just how you present that fly.
Right.
Bass fight a lot, right?
Oh, yeah, they're fun.
I seen them on ESPN, like when there's a baseball strike in the summertime and they don't got nothing to put on, and they put on bass fishing. Yep. I see, and those motherfuckers like, woo wee, this motherfucker.
I got a good bass story for you.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so my buddy Gary is an old timer, and he and I have been fishing, together for quite a few years. Anyway, he invites me out to this lake, and I was like, all right, perfect. I'll meet you. We'll get a hotel room that night, and I'll bring some fly tying equipment, and we'll just talk about these bass out here, and we'll get it figured out. He was telling me that the dragonflies were just going crazy out there. So I rig up a dragonfly in the hotel room out of foam and whatever I have.
You made it?
Yeah. And it was uglier than hell. It seriously was like, I didn't think it was going to work. I get out there, first fish, first light. He's sitting off in this corner, throw it, hook into him, snaps me off right away. I'm like, well, shit, the fly works, but now it's in that fish. Couple minutes.
When you say snaps me off, he broke your line.
He broke my line, yeah. And we were throwing a 6-weight, so like a heavier rod, and I was throwing pretty heavy tippet.
I would have used a 6-weight too.
Yeah, I think you would.
I thought about it. Yeah. It's like, Keith, you probably were on a 6 and not a 4.
Yeah, because you fucked up if you used a 4.
At that point.
So fly breaks off. A couple minutes later, I'm trying to rig up something else just to throw top water. And I look out there and I see something hitting the surface. My fly had come out of this bass's mouth.
Did you shoot him?
No.
I would have shot
It's sitting up there, and all of a sudden I'm seeing other fish trying to nibble at it. So I throw my cast out there. And this is a fish story, so don't believe it, but I hook into this fly that I had tied in the hotel room and pull it back to myself, okay? I tied that on. I caught 17 bass that day off that same fly, threw it all day.
Oh, shit.
My buddy Gary threw another type of fly that was similar. He didn't catch a fucking fish on it.
Let me ask you this then. So you catch and release?
Yes. Well, depends. If I'm camping, we'll cook up some fish or whatever, but most of the time there's fish in the supermarket.
How come when I...
That's true.
How come when I catch fish, like with a worm, they swallow it all the way down, and I try and catch and release it?
Because you're too slow. You're too slow.
Speak. Tell me what that means.
If you have a worm,
I've been told that before.
If you have a worm under an indicator or a bobber,
yep,
you're waiting for that bobber to drop.
Yes.
Okay, you're usually fishing still water, like a lake or a pond or something like that. By the time you've seen that 3 or 4 times dip down, that's when he's gutted it.
Okay.
You need to be right when that drops. You need to set that hook. And the problem is when you're stillwater fishing, there's a lot of slack in the water. So if you're not mending that line, pulling that line in, you're going to miss it. And then so he's going to take it. There's going to be slack that's going to come tight. And by the time you get it tight, he swallowed it. And now you got to just either cut the line or you got to take the fish.
But if you cut the line, he's walking around with a hook.
No.
With a hook in
Well,
his
you
face.
can do that. Most of the hooks will break down in the fish. They've done studies that over X amount of time, that hook will actually break down and it won't harm the fish.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
So a fish can eat a metal hook
Yeah.
and it goes away.
Yeah.
Eat a metal hook, and I'm in the ER, and they're either cutting it out of me or I'm shitting out my colon.
Right.
I think they call that a pink sock, but either way, it's a bad day. It's a bad day. But the fish can digest that shit?
Well, they don't. I think it breaks down just from like the acidity in the water more than anything.
Oh.
But you're going to do more damage to the fish by trying to pull that hook out.
I've done that.
You know?
I've done that.
And if you're going to release that fish, they would recommend that you would just clip the line and let it go. And most of the time, it'll survive. But overhandling fish, whether you hook it in its lip or it guts it, you could also cause problems for that fish too.
What's the best fish to, like, because you're doing it for the sport of it, so you want the little fight and all that shit.
Right.
Hey, motherfucker, I own you. I'm a man. Right? I'm the top of the food chain. You can't win. So who's the best fish for that shit?
As far as,
The fight.
oh, I would say pound for pound, probably bass. If you get into like white bass, they're tiny. They're, yay big, probably the size of my hand. But pound for pound, those suckers pull.
Mm-hmm.
Carp are probably up there, but I mean, I haven't fished for.
Carp aren't indigenous to America.
No,
right?
they're
Those some
invasive.
Japanese shit,
They're
right?
invasive, yeah.
Right? So people just put them out there?
Yeah, and fly fishing for carp's relatively new. I mean,
Can you eat them?
you could eat carp, but I
Do
wouldn't.
they taste good? You wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I mean, they're eating shit and whatever else is lying at the bottom.
But there are like catfish.
Yeah.
Would you eat a catfish?
I like po' boys and stuff like that. Like I would eat those, but I don't know. I'm not really a bottom feeder fish.
That's
guy.
what I'm saying. But there is a group of people that eat carp. They eat catfish because that's
The
like
homeless.
You say that, but there's a group of people that eat fucking crabs and lobsters. And
It's
those
true.
motherfuckers
It's
are
true.
rats. So I watched this documentary one time, right? I love crab, okay? And I watched this documentary, all the dead fish on the bottom of the
Wait,
ocean.
clarify. You said crab.
Crab, yeah.
Okay.
I probably said something else, but I meant what you said.
Okay.
And then motherfuckers,
yeah, you did.
the crab are the rats. They eat all the dead shit on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So for like 3 years, I couldn't eat crab.
Yeah.
But then I
Really?
was like, they're disgusting.
As long as you're not eating crab with a K, I think you're good.
Fair enough. They're disgusting, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like all fish. I'll eat it. I'm sure if it's prepared right, I'll eat it. But I just choose not to.
You catch and release. You catch them on the lip.
Yeah,
So
usually.
you catch them early.
Yeah, most of the time your hook sets, if you've got a proper hook set, you should be hooking them in their upper lip most of the time.
You got flies here that you brought.
Yeah.
These are ones you made?
I've tied these, yeah. So, I mean, this is a Moorish
That's you.
mouse. Yeah, this is a little mouse pattern here. I got
Whoa,
hopper patterns.
Back to the one in your left hand. What do
Yep,
you mean
yep.
a Morris?
That's the
Fish eat mice?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hold it up
Oh, yeah.
a little higher.
Here.
Yeah, beautiful.
Fish eat mice?
Ooh, yeah.
And this is made out of foam and squirrel.
No. What fish is eating a mouse?
Most fish will eat mice if they're big enough.
Are you
Oh,
fucking kidding? If
if
the
they're
fish is
big
big enough.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean this fly is
You're
intended
fishing
for,
in the wrong holes, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, I got a fish tank, and my Jack Dempsey just died. He was probably 12 inches long. He would have ate that mouse?
Guarantee it.
Mm.
You could get probably a 10-inch fish to probably go after that. Most of the time, their strikes are more instinctual than anything. It's like opportunistic. So, you should look up some videos of mouse fly fishing online. It's incredible.
Would you take a live mouse and put it on the hook?
I don't fish with bait, so
Bait is live.
live. Yeah.
So you don't use worms? You don't lose
I mean, if I
shrimp?
was fishing with my nephew, I'd throw a worm on for him. But usually, I mean, I've had just as much success throwing on a fake worm under a bobber indicator for my nephew as throwing a real worm. So
Bobber indicator.
it's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, just different. Like fly fishermen will call it an indicator, but it's a bobber. It's
So one day you can go out there with that half rat lure you got there, right? And that wouldn't work.
yeah. This is
How long do you work that before you're like they're not eating
This
rat
is like
today?
a specialty.
I was gonna say that feels
Can I
like
see it?
that feels like an afternoon.
Yeah.
Don't get yourself hooked in that bitch.
It's sharp. So.
Please hook it in
But
something.
you wouldn't fish. I mean,
you made this.
I tied that, yeah. You wouldn't fish for that.
Quit saying made and say tide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm trying to learn.
Jeez.
Or built it. I don't know.
Tide. No,
Yeah.
the tide's the right word.
It is.
Yeah.
But you would fish that dawn, dusk, even nighttime. Usually people that are mousing are throwing at nighttime. They usually know where those big fish are sitting in those holes, and they'll go throw after them. But, yeah.
Is there a cockroach one?
There's like cicadas, and, I mean...
Because
most
those assholes... Listen, if I'm a fish, because fish eat shit, I'm going to eat cockroaches because they're assholes, and they float around. So... Anything similar?
I mean, terrestrials, more hard-cased bugs, beetles, stuff like that. They'll take those. It's just depending on the time of the year and presentation. With fishing, presentation is really like, it's not really what you have on, it's how you present it to them. They almost want a conveyor belt. If it's less work for less calorie burning for more calorie intake, that's what they're looking for. So
they want a sexy bitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if it's floating by them,
Sexy.
they want it thrown right in their mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been
grapes.
I've been there.
So I
Force-fed.
went one of my favorite fish to catch, and I did I went to Lake Powell. Okay. So our regional listeners that's picking up like us, Arizona, Nevada, like you guys. Lake Powell, right?
They understood regional when you said regional. You didn't need to explain it.
I did too.
All right.
I did too, because that lake covers 2 states. I did some stripe fishing.
Striper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because of that. Anyways, so
Well, you're on a boat, I'm assuming.
Yes,
You're probably
and we
throwing
just-
downriggers.
yes,
Okay.
and that was some of the most fun I had fishing, because we're throwing those out there and they're chasing them. You're picking them in.
And they fight.
Oh yeah, you were talking about fighting. Like, what's the fight? And I've never been to Alaska. I've never fished that, but for me that was awesome. Like, they're fighting back. They're pulling. Damn near the first time that happened to me where they fought back, damn near ripped the rod out of my hand.
And you're throwing a heavy rod too.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and I was like, holy shit, this is who's in there tugging on this damn thing? And it was awesome. So I know those are there specifically. That's kind of like their thing. But is there anything up here northern that's like you can like relate to that? Like, because I've done some river fishing and it didn't seem the same. Yeah, well, okay. As soon as they hooked it, I pulled it and we're good. But like, I mean, anything something like that.
You can get into some bigger cutthroat in like Strawberry, for example. Willard has Wiper, which is
I've heard
striper
about those. Yeah.
white bass hybrid, and they're not as big as the stripers you're fishing for, but they pull. They pull.
Yeah.
Those are a lot of fun.
Davey tells us that carp, bluegill, and jack are fighters.
Yeah, bluegill for pound. I mean, they're definitely. I mean, you can get some that are dinner plates and they're flat profile. They definitely can give you a ton.
What the fuck's a jack?
That's a saltwater fish.
Oh.
Yeah.
You been there?
No, I've only done a few saltwater trips, and I want to fish for bonefish. They're pretty much like, they look like a little shark, but they're kind of carp-ish looking. But I haven't done much saltwater fishing.
How come there's not no freshwater mammals? Like in the ocean, you got
Dolphins.
whales,
Yeah.
killer whales, dolphins. How come there's not nobody with like a fucking marsupial?
Maybe there is.
You're not
What
talking
about
like
the
otters
platypus?
and stuff like that. Though,
No, I'm
right?
talking
He
fish.
said,
Yeah.
oh, like a
Like
specific
fish,
fish
yeah.
only like lives in the water. Period.
What
only.
kind of weird shit have you caught?
I actually 2 weeks ago caught a robin that was sitting on the side of a rock. It was
That's
bird.
That's
yeah.
a bird.
Yeah, it was.
That's a bird.
It was sitting in the seam, and I threw a cast right next to it. It was a perfect cast, but I tailed it just a little bit, and it wrapped around its wing, and I ended up bringing him. But I caught a baby duck once.
No. Back to the bird.
Yeah.
No,
The robin.
yes.
You reeled it in.
Yeah, I pulled him in. I got him all entangled and let him go. It was fine.
And then
Is there pictures or it didn't happen?
Oh, I got video.
Okay,
Yeah.
so save that video. We'll post that video
All right.
up if you'll share it with us.
Yeah.
We'll post that in the
I got
show.
And then what else did you catch?
Well, I threw a little mayfly. I was fishing a small creek up just down by downtown Salt Lake, and Mama and her ducks are sitting there, and I throw this little mayfly out there, and I see this little duckling just cut away from the whole group, and I'm like, fuck, he's going right for that fly. And he takes it in. So Mama comes over because it's freaking out. I end up getting Mama and duckling tied up in the same line, pull them in. Luckily, I was able to get it off, and they were fine. But
because you got it early.
Yeah, well, I wasn't setting that hook. I was trying to get it a lot away from them. But I mean, I've seen videos online where they're reeling in a fish, and an otter comes out of the water, or raccoon comes and takes it. But I haven't caught.
You ever hook yourself?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was fishing the Green River one time and buried a hook in the back of my hand. And I had a little bit of weight on there, and it was like the line came through, and next thing I knew, it just like, oh man, it was fun.
So anything I've ever heard of the Green River, and my brother lived down there, so he's got his stories and then his friends' stories. Anything down by the Green River, there's always I've hooked myself story at the Green River.
Or there's a Gary Ridgway story where somebody was murdered on the Green River.
You got one of the two.
Yeah.
Real quick, I just want to tell you, I want to pass this on to you, Shay.
Okay.
Mac.
Yeah.
If you have, and you do listen, Mac, one of our grill guys, he filled in once when Keith might have been dead and we had to resuscitate him. He filled in one time. Mac wants to let you know that you have an amazing mustache.
Thank you.
And that he tuned in a little bit late, and he's sad that he missed such an amazing mustache.
Well, it's still here for your viewing pleasure.
Your mustache is circa 76. And so it's Bon Chicken Pound, all right? That's before AIDS.
Yeah.
During gonorrhea. All right.
Gonorrhea.
It's awesome.
I chipped my tooth out playing hockey a couple years ago, so I'd keep it a little longer to kind of
cover up the chip.
Yeah. I put a cap on mine. Just
I fixed it. I took a stick, fixed it, and then 2 weeks later busted it again. So
at that point, who cares?
The fly fishing for you, is that therapeutic to go out there and catch a fish and let it go? Is that, hey, motherfucker, I dominate you. I can draw you to me.
It's actually more the interaction with wildlife for me, and then getting away. My job's busy with, obviously a tattoo, and I deal with people and the hustle and bustle of the city and all that. I just want to get out and get away. Mm-hmm. So that's why I do it. Usually if I get to somewhere that I want to fish and it's busy and there's a lot of people, I usually will leave and go try to find somewhere else.
How many years you been doing this?
I've been fly fishing. I think it's been about 8 years now. Fly fishing. Yeah.
How long you been making your own lures?
So I've been tying pretty much that whole time as well. But yeah, I was fortunate enough after a couple years to get picked up by a fly rod company, and I actually fished for them for a couple years.
I'm glad you said that because you have this pool stick apparatus.
This isn't one of their rods, but this is just the back end.
But what's it? So that's what was in this
case here,
this container.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a sponsor early on.
I did, yeah, and I fished for them for quite a few years, but we've parted since.
Okay.
But
right.
I mean, I got sent rods and rods and rods, thousands and thousands.
Can you hold that up
to
the camera for
so
our people?
this is the reel seat. This is where you're
a little bit higher.
Sorry.
There you go.
So this is your reel seat. Your rod would go on here, or your reel would go on here, and then this is the back end basically, and then there would be multiple sections that would tie into the end of this.
Okay. This just made me think of a question. So how so
light. This is really light.
So a fly fishing rod versus a traditional fishing rod.
Yeah.
What's the difference there?
So they're usually made out of, well, you got graphite and bamboo and other makeups, glass, fiberglass.
Right.
But most of them are graphite. The thing is how they're made so that the line can be distributed through the guides.
Okay.
The stoutness, all of that is the difference, but it's mainly these are designed so that they can send a fly rod out. The other ones are more stout, intended for weight casting and for, reeling in that fish with the weight. But same general concept, I guess. I don't know. I don't build rods. So
So are they about the same length, though, I guess, is what I'm asking.
your average fly rods, your lighter rods that are intended for smaller fish, panfish, smaller trout, stuff like that, you're looking at a 3-weight or a 4-weight rod. And they're usually around 7 feet. You can get them in the 8 to 8.5 range, I guess. But most of the time they're about 7 foot. And that's for small, like creek fishing, stuff like that. And then your more all-around universal rod, you're looking anywhere in the 8.5 to 9 foot section, and those are usually your 5 and 6 foot weight or 6-weight rod. You can go up from there, and then you get into your bass, which would be like 9 foot 7, or excuse me, 9 foot 6 weights, 9 foot 7 weights.
That's huge.
I fish a 10-foot rod. My 6-weight is a 10-foot rod, but I just like the way it turns the fly over. I can throw heavier flies with that. So.
So you go out fishing, are trout and bass in the same water?
They can be, but
can you pick who you want to get?
Totally, yeah. But depending on where they're, because
depends on the fly you're throwing.
True, but they also hold in different spots. I could throw this fly here. Let's see. I could throw something like, well, that's not a good example. Anyway, I could throw the same fly.
I want to see it anyway.
Yeah, this is a carp fly. These are a couple carp flies.
Okay.
But
you made this.
Yeah,
they're intricate. They're not. It's not like you could just go, oh, I'm gonna grab a feather and here's. Hold on, let me.
But to
make
your
sure
question,
you got there, Keith. There you go.
To your question, you can use the same flies, but different fish hold in different conditions.
Right.
Bass-like
right.
structure. Trout-like sitting in certain types of water. Even different species of trout sit in different types of water.
Okay.
So cutthroats, rainbows, stuff like that usually are in faster water. There's a saying that it goes, cutthroats and rainbows are in fast water, browns are in slow water. I'm trying to remember. Oh, that's what it is. Cutthroats hold or lie in fast water, browns lie in slow water, and fishermen lie in the fly shop.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. So, I like that.
Yeah. But the species of fish depend on what you're throwing.
They lie in the fly shop. So, species of fish. So that depends on the lure you put out, how you're doing it.
Yeah, your presentation.
When you make it dense. All right. So fly fishing. I've seen the shit. I've seen a river run through it.
Yeah,
I've seen that fucking
not
movie.
Not a good depiction.
I'm a fisherman.
Hey,
because I've seen a river run through it. Okay.
You throw it out there. You let it lie on top. How long do you let it lay there before you pull it back and do it again? Because those motherfuckers, they were just with a cane pole. They had no reel, like you're talking about. They put their finger on the line and they threw it out, let it cast out. They brought it back, and they're like, "How long do you let it lay out there? How patient are you?"
Well, it depends.
You have to be patient.
It depends on the drift. So when you throw it into the drift of that current, whatever seam you're throwing it in, you got to mend your line and keep that tight. So it's all depending on where that fish is lying. You usually want to land it 3 to 5, maybe 7 feet ahead of that fish without spooking it.
7 feet.
And allow it to come back to that fish where it's lying. Because once it comes back, the fish will ride back and come up and eat the fly.
Okay.
So it's not really about how long it's on the water as more as the presentation of where you put that fly.
Got you.
Is the and this kind of goes back, and you may have answered it, but I'm not entirely sure. Is
because he's drunk,
right? So when I was learning, and I had to land it on the plate, because I was told you want to land the fly first, and then let the line kind of land quietly afterwards. If you land the line and then the fly, then you've scared the fish.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because sometimes the presentation is when it unfurls, the line hits the water and then the tippet lands after.
I love how you just did that.
I mean, it's a pretty thing if you watch it. It really is.
That was pretty. What the fuck you just did was pretty.
But when you're throwing dry flies, that's when your cast really matters. When you're throwing nymphs and stuff like that, if the water's fast, if it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Okay.
Throwing streamers, like if you make a splash, sometimes that entices the fish to come after you.
Because
they're like, something landed there, I'm going to go get it.
So usually when you're thinking, like Keith's thinking river runs through it, it's dry flies and you have to have that perfect cast and the perfect presentation. if I was to take you out today, I would put you on nymphs, and you would be, making a ruckus, and you would catch fish, hopefully.
Yeah, you definitely put us on nympho because that's what it is.
Yeah.
100-year-old fish weighing 240 pounds caught in Detroit River.
Wow.
I didn't know this fucking fish was 100 years old, number
They
one.
talk to it.
Why would you eat anything coming out of the fucking Detroit River?
Nope.
It's probably a half mutant, half person fish.
Both of them
out the
seem
fucking
like...
river.
I didn't realize they had water up there.
No, in Detroit.
It's
I'm
Flint.
joking. I'm
No,
joking.
you're not joking. You're fucking honest.
So it probably runs through Flint, so it's mutated.
yeah.
Have you ever seen The Simpsons where it's got the three-eyed fish?
Yep, right
That's
outside
the
the
fuck's
plant.
going on. And what you notice is they don't show the fucking eyes of this goddamn fish, right? It's just a fish laying there. I'm not eating anything that comes out of Detroit.
Oh, hell no.
All right?
No. Nope.
So you catch fish, and this is all relaxation for you. This is conquering the fish. Look, bitch, I run your ass. And you ever think about the fish? You ever think about, we talked about earlier, right? In the ocean, you got mammals. And they say dolphins are smart. They say killer whales are smart. They say whales are smart because they're mammals. That's us hyping our own selves. They give live birth. I wish there was a live birth freshwater fish outside of a manatee. Because when you grab that fucking fish and you put him back in the water, he's like, yo, you're not going to believe what the fuck I just saw. It's like seeing an alien.
I almost feel like they're smart, and they can.
Fish are smart?
Oh yeah, they can recognize. If you go to a heavily populated river where people fish it constantly, they start to realize that the size of the fly that's getting thrown is not something they want to eat because they're going to get caught.
Okay.
So they start being more selective. But they're also, you could fish the same fish an hour later after you just spooked it or hooked it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they got a quick forget.
That's what I would
guess.
think.
But,
That's what I think.
But I think they are smart. I mean, that obviously they've evolved years and years and years over millennia, so they got to be smart to still be here.
What's your favorite fish to eat?
You already asked me that. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so
I've been drunk for a couple of hours now.
That's true.
so freshwater mammal. There are manatees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
You're not eating that.
No.
That's
No,
creepy. That's
but-
like eating a mermaid.
Yep. There are freshwater dolphins.
Yeah. They came in. So they're in Florida. They're between that saltwater and freshwater thing, and there's freshwater crocodiles too.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Well.
A lot of fish do that. Actually, steelhead are actually rainbow, or they can be cutthroat. They can be other species too. But they're freshwater trout that go out to the ocean. They grow out
Adapt?
there, spawn, do their thing, and then they actually run back up the river. So a lot of fish species can do that. They just have to be adapted to do that.
I caught a shark one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
No, fuck you. I caught a shark one time. I was in Orlando. We were fishing off a pier, and I caught a shark. I also caught a turtle. I put that back, but the shark wouldn't let go. It was a little baby shark.
Yeah.
I got a picture.
Yeah.
And if you need proof, I got a picture of a fucking shark, and I don't know what to do with it, right? But that's the beauty about
How'd you
fishing.
get it off there?
Off the
Off
thing?
the hook, yeah. How did you unhook
I
it?
pulled it out.
Oh, you just ripped it out
That's
of
what
his face.
killed him. I don't know how to do that. Like how you guys just don't, like my kid, he's on his fly fishing shit lately, and he catches and release. All right, I don't have that. I don't know what I'm doing wrong because all my shit is worms.
Well,
Yeah.
The nice thing
Power bait and worms.
with catch and release, because there's slot limits. You can't really, if it's too small or too big, you can't take that fish. So you want
There's
to make
limits
sure.
for sluts. Is that what you?
Slot limits,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would you
He
say?
said slot limit.
Slot limit.
Oh, I thought you
slot
said
limit.
slut.
Yeah.
I
So,
thought a slut had a
if you
limit.
gut that, if that fish guts that hook, you don't want to obviously kill it. You could technically be breaking the law. So
Okay.
No, the thing is, when you fish in the ocean, you don't need a license.
that's true. That's true.
You just go out there and you just throw
But
your thing out
freshwater,
there. Right.
freshwater.
Oh, freshwater is different.
Fresh fry. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Yeah.
So what have you eaten? You eaten turtle?
I have.
I would
had
probably eat turtle if they
most
presented
seafood.
it.
Yeah.
If they presented it before me, I'd probably eat a turtle.
I wonder if they
I ate
cook those in the
frog
shell.
once.
How was that?
It was okay. It was like chicken, but
What was it?
frog.
Okay.
It
had
was like
frog one
chicken.
time.
It was like chicken. So they gave me the leg, and I was like, "Well, this is like a bendy chicken leg," and they're like, "Well, that's frog." I was like, "Oh, okay, well, it tastes like chicken." Whatever,
Don't tell me
good shit.
beforehand.
We did a crayfish boil one time. That was a lot of fun. We went up and caught a bunch of crayfish. Well, it was here in
Ooh, that's
Utah,
good.
but
All right.
we caught a bunch of crayfish and boiled them up. And man, that's a lot of work, but it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
I like that you're out there with different shit. I like that you're the dude. He's your number one fucking sponsor. No, seriously. And
You about knocked me off my damn chair with that.
here
I
he
don't
is.
think you realize the amount of force that was behind that hit.
Here he is. Here he is with.
It like that rocked me.
Here he is with a cane pole and a fucking. What other flies you got? What's in that tube right there?
Which one? This?
Yeah.
That's
That's just
rod.
the rest of the rod that's there. Yeah.
I keep my rod in that too. And then what's in that red thing right there?
Oh, those are just weights. Sometimes when you're nipping, you can throw weights on
So
there. So
the level for fish, like
so
some fish
his
are warmer,
flies are in the
colder.
next.
Right.
His flies are in the next container by him.
Bass
closer.
are up higher because they need to be warmer, correct?
they like warmer water. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Fuck
it
you.
just depends.
On what?
Well, at least in the river, there's different water currents under, the surface. So if you need to get down lower, they're sitting lower, then you throw the weights on.
What about ice fishing?
You have to
Do you
have
like
ice
ice fishing?
Yeah, I do.
Oh man, that seems miserable to me.
Miserable.
It's fun. I at first I was like, "Fuck this, I'm not into it." But
I'm
if
with
you
you.
if you have all the gear, if you have the tent and all that stuff, the barbecue, a cooler food, like.
So you can put
So
a
it's-
fire on top of that ice and
Oh
not
hell
melt the
yeah,
ice.
because that ice is thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they
they-
can be up to 15, inches.
And
or
you're
so.
not even melting shit, are you?
Yeah. I mean, we'll do like propane stuff. That's
Mm-hmm.
a little safer, but yeah, I don't mind ice fishing. It's all
Ugh.
right.
You been to Alaska?
Never been to Alaska. No.
Do you want to go up there?
It's a
I
bucket
would,
list
yeah.
thing, right? Though
Totally, yeah.
to
yeah.
fish Alaska, I'm not a big fisherman, but to fish Alaska is kind of like a bucket list.
I
for
tattoo
me.
a guy that actually is a heli guide, and he guides fly fishing and skiing trips, and he's extended the invite a few times. And
The hookup.
I'm gonna take.
Did
him-
he ask
I'm
for a
gonna take
koi
him up on
fish
it.
tattoo?
No. He's got some fun tattoos. Not that koi aren't fun, but yeah, he's got some fun tattoos.
You gonna take him up on that?
I think I am. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I am. We'll see.
Yo, I was taking a shit the other day.
Oh boy,
Fuck you, Wood. You don't take a shit every day?
Every-
I was taking a
yeah.
shit the other
Twice
day.
a day, 3 times a day.
you ought
I'm
to.
regular.
You need to change your diet.
No,
No,
he's
no,
actually
that's
healthy.
regular.
3 times a day, take a shit.
Healthy, 100%.
All right, you and Oprah can believe that. But I'm looking out. So
Thank you, Mexico.
They got the little fucking the diaper changing thing. Okay. And you pull it out because I put my phone and shit on there, right? Because I
Gross.
don't want to drop the shit. No, yeah, it's where you put the baby to
No.
diaper change. You not fucking with that?
No, don't put any of your shit in the public bathroom.
All right, well,
true.
I put
Keep
my
it in
phone
your
on
pocket.
there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's got directions in Japanese, directions in Spanish, directions in English, German, and it's also got it in Braille. And what I wanted to say is, who the fuck is in Braille learning how to change a fucking diaper?
I've wondered the same
Right.
thing. Like, if you're to the point where you have to go to the public bathroom and you need Braille to do so,
And you
you're
need Braille.
It's
Yeah,
just for
right.
inclusive.
you're in
Yeah.
you're in a bad situation.
You're fucked up.
Like,
all right.
like,
I like to
because
see somebody in
there's
Braille,
Braille-
change a diaper.
There's That's not a big deal.
I just feel
the changing a diaper blind. That's
yeah.
one thing.
I feel bad for the kid though. The kid's got to like.
Yeah.
I mean, this shit's on backwards. It's twisted around.
Right.
He probably got shit all over his
It's
nuts.
on his shoulder.
Like, fuck.
Like if it's a boy, it's got shit in his testicle wrinkles. If it's a girl, it's got shit in
Poor
wrinkles
girl.
and labia that you don't even understand. Listen to my audience out here. You don't understand what happens when you have a baby
You
that's
know.
chubby
You know.
and has a vagina, because all of a sudden the labia majora,
All right,
extra majora
I'm
keeps
not ta-
going.
I'm not talking about this. What I am talking about is the fact
Don't
that
change diapers in a public bathroom.
Shay, you ever seen a Saw?
Go to your
You ever
bath
seen
car.
Saw?
I don't watch horror films.
But you know what it? So you know,
I know what it is. But
Yeah, Jigsaw.
Do you know who Chris Rock is?
Yeah. Comedian.
Chris Rock is now in Saw movies.
What?
What? Saw number 27?
I can't fucking abide
Yes.
by that.
He
Yeah,
needs
no,
to stop.
I can't. I
He
will
needs to
watch it.
stop.
I will watch it.
You'll watch it.
I'll watch it.
I can't.
Was
buy
Chris Rock in it? Yeah, I'll watch it.
I can't buy it.
You know
Because
why,
I'm
though?
waiting for the joke.
They're trying to keep up with the because it's kind of got the funny thing going. And the
Yeah,
scary
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So Chris Rock's gonna crack some jokes while he's getting his fucking leg cut off or whatever.
I didn't know I needed 2 legs. Now I do. You know what I mean? Who the fuck is that? That's me and you.
That's me.
Hey, look. Let me. A man.
We're about to wrap up, is what he said.
I'm drunk. This Angel's Envy is kicking my ass, Shay.
I'm glad.
For a fucking straight edge. What did he say earlier? He said, I never bought an alcoholic drink in my life.
Yeah.
I bought it for you two bald-headed motherfuckers.
And you
Ivory
finished.
Age.
Like, look, he brought it in. He's like, here's a peace offering so that I can come in here, record, talk about my fly fishing.
He's awesome.
And
He's
leave.
awesome.
I didn't expect you to drink the whole bottle, Keith.
I didn't realize you could burn through that quick.
Man uses
Human-
hair.
I thought that was going to sit on a shelf for a couple months, but holy shit.
Yeah, have you listened to this fucking podcast? Man uses hair curlers to smuggle 35 singing birds into the U.S.
35 what?
35 singing birds into the U.S. And my question is, how the fuck is he singing?
Singing birds.
Smuggling.
35 singing birds, Shay. That's what he said.
That guy's got a problem.
Yeah.
This guy's drunk. How the fuck do you smuggle 35 singing birds into the U.S. without those 35 birds singing?
That's a great
That's true.
question.
All right?
That's
That's
true.
a great
He smuggled them in. He got fucked in LaGuardia, I believe. Because
Good.
USA, because
That's a. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me turn it up again.
Yeah.
That's a good.
we led the show with
Yes.
that. We led the, I love that. I love that. Anyhow, be smart in what you do. Shay, I want to tell you something. I'm glad you came back.
appreciate that.
I've been milking for you for the longest time because you're a straight edge. You don't drink, so you watch me get drunk and you're free and entertainment, right?
Yep.
And you go and tattoo, and somebody comes and say, "I want a picture of a drunk person on my back." You said,
Keith.
"You know what?
Yep.
I got it."
When I think alcohol, I think
You picked out some good shit.
I was telling Brian earlier that when you get drunk, you start doing this like sexy voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sexy.
He's been that way for about an hour now. Yeah, the sexy voice.
I've been sexy for a long time.
So Shay, let me. Okay, we're about to wrap up. We're wrapping up close. Is there any? We talked your fly fishing because that was your mask off. That's your mask off number 2, which is also a first.
First time.
Hey,
First
look at
time
that.
mask off number
Look at
2.
that.
We've had repeat guests.
Yep,
but
we've never had a mask
somebody
on
with a
number 2.
different side.
Man,
Yes.
perfect.
So
Wear a bunch of hats.
I'm gonna set your fishing side aside. I feel like Austin Powers.
Step 2, allow myself to introduce myself.
Yeah. So you're tattooing.
Yeah.
Talk to us. Because we're running late. Give me something that if someone comes into you, you're gonna be like, no, please don't come in here with that.
Racist stuff.
Okay.
Homophobic, sexist.
Swastikas.
All that stuff.
No, you're not doing
Yeah.
any racist stuff.
Yeah.
Not homophobic. Anything like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean-
absolutely not.
There's guys out there that'll do that for you, and you go find them.
Do you have it often, though?
Not really. It's the times are changing. You know, it's not really. Those types of people already have the people that are going to tattoo them. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I'll turn people away. I'll also turn them away if their designs aren't up to snuff, because my name's on it just as much as theirs.
Sure.
So.
Sure. How far out are you and the other artists?
Most of
in
us are
there?
booked right now, probably about 3 months.
Damn.
There's a couple.
Did COVID play into this?
Kind of, because we went part-time, so we had to kind of accommodate our schedule a little bit for that. But
Sure.
my average usually is 2 to 3 months that you're going to be waiting to get tattooed. So, and that's normal. I think if you're not serious, you're not going to wait, and I want to see how serious you are. So.
Sure.
Do you have to tell people to take a shower? Do you have to fucking advertise, take a shower?
I've only one time. I had one gal that came in that she...
Girl?
Yeah, her feet stunk, and she wanted her foot tattooed. And I told her, I said, you need to go home and shower.
I don't disagree with
I'm just
that. I
being
feel-
real with her, you know?
Yeah, I 100%
Did she
agree.
shower and come back?
She did, yeah.
Good.
And
Good for her.
she
because
was,
she was serious about her
she
tattoo.
apologized. She was a dancer, apparently. Not that kind of dancer, but...
I was like, oh, she's paid for college.
Yeah, she's paying for college with this. But no, she was nice about it, you know. So.
Okay. I had a question prior to that. It totally left me.
Sorry.
So the 10-day, you got to be in you. So because I hit you up. It's probably been about 6-7 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend come in from out of state, and you're like, they've got to be here for at least 10 days.
Yep.
Is that still a thing?
No, I think as long as, give me a call at the shop and we'll figure out,
Right.
kind of the details of it. If you're vaccinated
who's your call taker?
Her name's Brittany. She's our shop manager.
So give Brittany a call.
Yep. And the thing that drives me crazy is I pay her to answer your questions. So don't call me and say, is Shay there? I need to talk to Shay. You're going to talk to Brittany, and she's going to inform you of everything that I've already talked to her about.
Shay.
This just changed everything.
Shay.
Yeah.
I can make Brittany quit. I'm glad you didn't say that shit. Because I'll call Brittany next week, and I'll say some shit to be like, this motherfucker made me uncomfortable, okay?
No, she handles all of that stuff, though. So when it gets down to the actual setup, if the client really needs to talk to me, I'll talk to them. But I'm tattooing. I got other things going on. So
Right.
She's our secretary.
Okay, so my second question to kind of go along with that. So we want to talk to Brittany. Guys, if you're listening and you call 801-410-4245, you're going to talk to Brittany.
Yep.
And Brittany's going to give you all of your answers.
Yep.
But let me ask you this. Let's say that I have a tattoo that I want on me, right? And I need a consult. Or do I come in for a consult, or do I just schedule a time and then you consult and then tattoo me? How does that work?
So right now, before we would just have people stop by. We don't schedule, or we didn't schedule consultations, but lately we have been because of the COVID thing.
Okay.
But now, if you want a consultation, call the shop. Figure out the days I'm there. We'll find a time where I generally have a break, and I'll stop and chat with you.
But there's other people there. I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to everybody else, because this is Tiger Claw Tattoo.
Right.
Now, I understand we have Shay in the house, but we also have Tiger Claw Tattoo in
all
here.
Great artists.
So fantastic. And if you're not following all of them on Instagram, I
highly recommend.
You need to go over there and check them out, because they are fantastic.
Thank you.
Every single one of them are above and beyond anybody. I put them against anybody in this state, and they'll kick their ass every time.
We appreciate that.
100%. So go check them out. But so you call and you're like, hey, I want Austin 2 to check me out, right?
Okay.
Whichever Austin that is. I want Austin 2 to hook me up with a koi fish.
Yeah.
Okay. Since we're talking fishing.
Yeah.
Now, are you scheduling a consult, or how does that go down?
Yeah. Right now, most people are just scheduling the time for them to come down and talk. That's
okay. And that takes about how long?
10 minutes.
Okay.
Your drive time
Easy.
in 10 minutes. It's quick. And we usually have the consultation because we require a deposit. So
that makes sense.
To make sure that you're committed and serious about it, you come down, you give your ideas out, we go over pricing, you leave a deposit, we set you up an appointment or multiple depending on the size, say see you in a couple months.
Right. And guys, if you're into tattooing, a consult and a deposit is not a rarity. It is
a big
thing.
Deal.
No, it's standard. And because the consult is a thing, Keith, Shay, I gotta ask you guys. Is that what you're saying?
No.
That is not what he's saying. He stopped me.
No.
I thought we were in.
I want to talk to you about this. There's something different about you.
Yeah.
We met you 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's been. We hit our anniversary date about 2 weeks ago.
And through osmosis, all of a sudden now your neck tattoos are gone.
Yeah, they're starting to.
I
Let's
forgot
talk about that.
Starting to.
Because this is the business I wanted to open.
Yeah.
So here you are. You got a Tiger Claw tattoo, and you got hippopotamus mouth tattoo removal.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be right next door to you. Okay.
Same. I would love to open up a tattoo removal shop.
Yeah. So what's going on? You got some shit. Your neck. I remember before you had
Yeah, it was really saturated.
Yeah,
and
that was you.
Tattooed, yeah.
That was
But
you.
it was like a microphone,
Yeah, I had a microphone
or engine, or was it a microphone?
Yeah, I had a microphone and a couple roses, and then one side was a windmill and the other one was a lighthouse.
Behind why was it all that? It doesn't even matter.
Nah.
Why is it gone?
Mainly because I can't get separation from work and home. That's my biggest thing is I go to the gas station and the 18-year-old kid's like, well, fuck, man, I can't wait to get my neck tattooed. And I'm like, well, work on the rest of your body first. You know, like don't think that your hands and your face and all this shit needs to get done now because it's cool and it's out there and this and that. Also, another thing is I want to be a little bit more inconspicuous. I can't go to the store without somebody looking at me or staring at me or this and that. I mean,
try being black.
I understand that.
But
I
continue.
understand that, especially here. But I think there's a magic and allure to somebody that's very heavily tattooed that you can't see their tattoos.
Okay.
And
So many tattoos, you judge them just based on a tattoo.
Think about it. If you would have met me and you couldn't tell that I had any tattoos, you're going to judge me off of what you've met me.
Okay.
And then if we go to a pool party in a year and I take my shirt off and you're like, holy fuck, you're tattooed. Like, you already are going to prejudge me based on my looks. And Keith, you know, obviously by being black, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And it's not cool, you know, and at least for me, I feel like I have the option to remove that and to be able to kind of blend in a little bit more and then choose to show my tattoos when I want.
So you don't regret it?
Not at all. No.
You don't regret the neck tattoos?
Not at all. No.
You're just trying to get into...
I'm an adult now.
All right. Nice.
Let me break that down, you know. When you're 19 and you're getting in fights every other day and you're feeling like a,
God
you know,
damn it, I love fighting.
You're peacocking, you know, and
Yeah.
I put a lot of I mean, effort into peacocking.
So what about the process in terms of getting those off? Because you were thick all over. So what is that process like?
It's pretty much.
Does it hurt?
Oh, it fucking hurts. Does
it hurt as much as getting it on?
10 times
more.
the amount. Yeah, tenfold. Yeah.
I think we had this discussion.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
It's a lot more. You have less now than when I last saw you. When you were tattooing me, you're like, "This is gonna hurt, asshole."
Yeah.
Because it's the inside of my eye, Keith. It hurt a lot. He's like, "Bitch, quit crying because have you ever had it removed from your neck?"
So
I'm
telling you that most laser sessions for most average, you know, 50-cent piece tattoos, they take about 2 to 3 minutes to do a session. Okay. I sat for 15 different times, an hour and a half each time. Okay. I'm telling you, I wanted to crawl out of my own skin. I would leave there and my head would just be pounding. The moisture boiled out of my body. It burns you. You got blisters. It is fucking miserable. If you're going to get tattooed, be smart about what you're going to do.
Yes.
Get tattooed on parts that you can cover so you don't have to resort to something like that.
And just to be clear, you had nothing offensive on
Not
there.
at all, no.
You had no David Duke is my hero. You had no fucking Poughkeepsie, you know. You had none of that shit.
Yeah.
There was nothing racist because people always saying, he's a reformed racist and shit.
Right.
No, that's not the case. You weren't that.
No.
You just had some shit on there, and you're like, I need to do business. Let me get this off me because people look at me a different way.
Well, my tattoos benefited me early in my career.
Yeah.
You know, you go to somebody that's tattooed, you're trusting them instantly because they're so tattooed.
Right. Yes.
I have my clients.
I'll look at a tattoo artist and I'll look at their tattoos. If they have none, I'm like, that's not me.
You can't trust a skinny chef, you know.
No.
That's the reality.
I like that.
Oh shit!
I like that.
You've talked about that as far as your smoking meat.
You know.
Yeah.
So you about to ready getting done. How much longer before all the shit's gone to where you're comfortable?
Well, the nice thing with the new lasers now is that your body, before they would almost burn it off of you and it would be like an external removal.
Yeah.
Right.
Now the process almost breaks down the cells and your body processes that and you actually shit it and piss it out. And it basically, you know, becomes byproduct and you know, relieve it through your waste. Yeah. And the nice thing is it slowly is breaking down.
So when you piss, you see coming out your dick. Fuck the
Like
police. You see
there
fuck
it
the
goes.
you see fuck the police. Right?
Exactly.
It fills the toilet with that hashtag and all that shit.
I remember those days.
Yeah, that happened.
You know what, Shay? Let me tell you, we all morph, we all grow, and we all. I don't want to say we have regrets, but there's a time in our life, of course, right?
Yeah.
It's not regretful, but it's just that's who I was. That's not who I am now.
Yep.
And let me move forward because you, my friend, are running a business, and there's gonna come time when you're in a room with certain cats, whatever, and you can show them all this shit here. But this is different.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, man. Good on you.
I appreciate that.
You appreciate it. I'm glad you're coming on twice. This is our only double mask off.
Double mask off.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Can I do it now? I don't often get to do it. Keith?
Hey,
Shay?
wait. Can I ask?
Yes. Drop it.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
That is what I'm saying. That's what happens when you get a double mask off here. Right here, guys. You heard it. I've left Tiger Claw Tattoos phone number up for, 30 minutes. Doesn't matter. Go see Shay and all of his artists over there because they're fantastic. They're over there in Mill Creek. Give me the address one more time.
It's 834 East, 3300 South, Mill Creek, Utah.
That is right. And they don't you don't do walk-ins right now, right?
Not right now, no.
But call ahead, schedule yourself a damn appointment, because and it's very well known that everything that I have on my body right now is done by Shay, but that's not a discredit to any other artist in his shop. Everyone in there is fantastic.
But if you want to get favors, walk in there with a fucking cane pole, right? And show them, motherfucker, look.
Come get a fishing tattoo.
Come get a
I'll
fishing
definitely
tattoo.
hook you up.
And he
Front of the
will
line.
hook you
Yeah.
up,
Head of the line.
guys. So you do not want to miss. You do not want to skip on anybody else other than Tiger Claw Tattoo, guys. Go see MVP Jersey Framing. So if you feel like, oh, okay, my tattoo looks great, but I want to put on my jersey, put on your damn jersey. Go in there, get your jersey framed, and then when you're at it, and you're like, oh, maybe a coaster would look good with my tattoo that I got from Tiger Claw Tattoo. Go see Native Roots Designs Co. That's Native Roots Designs. That's on Instagram. Everything else is not Native Roots Design Co. And he's got an Etsy shop. He'll show you how it's done, and he'll hook you up with all of that. And I got to tell you this: nothing other than we've got a sponsor in our room. I can't do anything else other than say, Keith, Shay, my guys, it was a pleasure.
Shay, I'm so happy to have you here, man. Seriously.
Hell yeah.
This is
Appreciate
fucking
it.
awesome. I'm glad
You guys
came
are
back.
badass.
And I'm going to tell you motherfuckers something else. Next week, the motherland.
Oh shit!
We out.